For about 24 hours my sophomore year in high school, I was the most interesting person in school by far, and I remember it because it was Valentine's Day. What happened was, a few weeks before that, my school had announced a new fundraiser where they were giving everybody in the school a personality test on a little Scantron form. They would crunch the numbers, and on Valentine's Day, you could buy a card that would tell you the 10 students in school that were the most compatible with you. To raise money for books, my school was going to tell you which kids were the most bangable for you. That is obviously a joke. I'm sure it was not for textbooks. I'm sure it was to buy new massage chairs for the football team's backup sauna. And I looked it up, and this company still exists as a fundraiser. Matchomatics will sell teens bangability scales for other teens. You didn't have to buy the result, but you were required, every single student was required to fill out the quiz. And at the time, I thought that was some fascist bullshit. And as an adult, looking back, that's still some fascist bullshit. I had to turn in a Scantron, but they didn't say I had to answer the questions well. So I noticed that the questions on the form were all answers A through D, but the Scantron they used was just a generic one, and it had bubbles for A through E. So I filled out bubble E for every single question. I know, what a hero of nonviolent protests, Gandhi couldn't wait to meet me. But what I did not realize is that the Matchomatics program also gives you a list as a fun joke of the kids in the school who are least compatible with you. And because I'm the only one who put E for every answer, I was listed as 0% compatible with every single student in the school. You cannot buy that kind of publicity. I mean, you probably could. The school really wanted those backup massage chairs, but I didn't have to. For free 99, I became the #1 school mystery bad boy. By the time these came out, I had completely forgotten about my heroic silent protests, so I had no idea why every hallway I walked down, I could hear my name from every group of students I passed, like I was in the Truman Show. And I'll tell you what I did with that immense fame. Absolutely nothing. What I could have done is gotten a t-shirt made that said, "I'm Alex Falco and I'm 0% compatible with you," worn it under my leather jacket, and then just sat there on my motorcycle waiting for people to ask for a ride back to my house. Or I could have paid someone in the school newspaper to write an article about mysterious love hacker Alex Falcone and how he basically doesn't come to class, he spends most of his time in pool halls, and he would love to talk to you except he only dates college girls. Or how the story really should end is that there should have been a girl there who wrote E for every one of her answers because she thought it was fascist bullshit, and then we were the only people who got 100% compatibility with each other, and then I should be like, "And that's how I met your mother." Anyway, that's the whole story. I gotta go. Your mother and I are meeting at the pool hall later. What's your favorite accidental email story? I'll go first. A couple years ago, my dad's boss bought donuts for everybody at the company, put them in the break room, and then he wanted to let everyone know that they were there. So he sent an email to the whole staff where he told them that there were donuts in the break room, and he attached an image that he grabbed off the internet of the Krispy Kreme logo to let them know what to expect. And he did not look very carefully at the image he had downloaded, and so he sent this to the entire company. So, a couple things about this. Number one, you should probably have Safe Search on at work. Number two, double check the images you send before you send them out. And number three, and most importantly, Krispy Kreme is not that good. It's fine. It's good. They're donuts. They're fine donuts. But they're not worth doing anything that you do not want to do. My point is, if you're doing that for a Krispy Kreme, you wanted to do that. It's not for the donut. I was on TV last week, which doesn't happen to me very often, so I want to tell you about it. I was one of the liars on To Tell the Truth, which is how I found out that To Tell the Truth is still on the air. I don't know how everybody prepares for the show, but I went hard. I was especially worried about people asking about my kids because the character I was playing wrote a book about his kids, and I don't have any kids, so I had to make one up and be ready to answer any questions about her. This is the dossier I produced about my daughter, Isabella, age 13. I can tell you everything about this kid who doesn't exist. I can tell you her birthday, the hospital she was born at, the delivering doctor's name, every school she's ever gone to, all of her teachers, friends, enemies, nicknames, and my nicknames for her that my wife would prefer I stop calling her. I even made a drawing and kept it with me on set, and I was going to pull it out and show the panel and say, she made this for me on her first day of preschool, and it was, at the time, it was the longest we'd ever been apart, and then they were going to see that, and they were going to go, "Oh, that's so sweet, you're clearly the real person." And they never asked me a single question about my family. Apparently, it just seems obvious to everybody that I'm a dad, even though I'm not. Kevin Nealon said,
"Well, number one seemed fatherly."
There's two things that make me feel a little bit better about that. Number one, I did fool grown-up Steve Urkel, even though he may have been a little stony baloney at the time. And two, the love
of my daughter Isabella, and you can't take that away from me ever because she's not real.
The most impressive and disgusting thing I've ever done is when I was 15, I finished an 8-scoop, 8-topping ice cream sundae to get my name on the wall at an ice cream parlor. And because teenage boys are disgusting, I did it around noon and still had dinner that night. And I'm not telling you this to brag, I want to pass along the tips that I learned from doing it, just in case you ever need to finish the earthquake to like win a game show or get away from a PG version of Saw or something. So here are Alex's keys to the game, brought to you by Kia or something. Number 1, flavor selection. The rules state you need 8 different flavors of ice cream and 8 different toppings. And you have to remember that this is going to melt faster than you can eat it, so you want to make sure all your flavors taste good together as a soup, okay? This is going to turn into the weirdest sweet gazpacho of your life, and you need to be ready. Stick to all the basic flavors you want. Vanilla, chocolate, low sugar vanilla, chocolate chip. Keep it all in the family to make sure the soup is not gross. Avoid all those weird fruity flavors that are going to clash with each other. Number 2, don't eat the whipped cream. You don't have to. Time will eat the whipped cream for you, okay? It's going to dissipate if you just let it sit there. So mine a little hole in the side, excavate everything out from underneath, and by the time you get to the soup stage, the whipped cream will be gone on its own. Number 3, bring a coach. The mental game is as hard as the physical one. You need someone to keep you on task. You need someone to sit next to you who's not participating in the challenge, and anytime you try to talk about anything besides ice cream, will say, shut up, keep eating. It worked great for me, and that's why my plaque said, Alex, shut up, keep eating, Falcone. Rule number 4, this is the most important trick. The ice part of ice cream is harder than the cream part, okay? You're gonna wanna order 2 cups, one full of warm water, the other one empty. Every 3 bites of ice cream, so as not to freeze your mouth over, you rinse it out with the warm water, spit it into the cup. Obviously, you're not going to put it down. You don't need to fill any of that space with stuff that's not part of the contest. And I know, spitting the water out is gross, but this, like, you're trying to get away from Saw here, all right? Don't worry about your image. That'll take care of itself later. Now go out there, win, escape, whatever you're going to do with this information, and then when you have dinner that night, probably eat a vegetable.
I just went to the doctor to get a bump on my back looked at, and he chose, as part of the medical procedure, to roast me, I guess. So good news, no cancer. Bad news, I'm still getting bullied, I think. Like, doctor comes in, before he's even looked at my back, he's reading some questions off this piece of paper. He gets to one, he goes, have you had any new sexual partners recently? And then he looks me up and down and goes, haha, I just had to ask. At least look at the bump first before you choose violence, Dr. Chuckles. It could have happened. It could have. I walked in here worried that I was going to die, and you decided either way you're going to end my life? Also raises the question, did you have to ask? Did you have to ask? Why is that relevant? Are you worried that I've got upper back herpes? Is that what you think happened? You think I'm in there shoulder grinding at my age? Also, maybe look around this glass house a bit before you start hucking stones, Doc. You went to college for 10 years to look at my weird bump, okay? Are you really out here crushing puss? Dr. Player, let me ask you a question. Do you wake up every morning and regret your life choices? Sorry, just gotta ask.